This is a brief video highlighting one of the most common confusions you might experience when using the Euclid Data Explorer. This is the Images tab in the Euclid Data Explorer. We go over here. The yellow, remember, is the planned observations, and the red is the released observations. I'm going to click in here and search. So I happen to find a region that overlaps in the corners of 3 tiles. I'm going to use that same position to search in the Inspect Objects tab. Okay, so it's found almost 14,000 sources. Now, here we've got cutouts that are about an arc minute across. And you can see right away that the first source in the list must be near the edge of the region that has sources. If I go back here to the Images tab, I also have sources, but this is also very clearly a different region of sky than if I go to the Objects tab. You do have some visual cues beyond just the images that something is going on that's different between these two sets of cutouts. Here, the cutouts are centered on the search target center. Here, the cutouts are centered on the table row position. So you see that they're in a very different part of the sky. Let me go add another search from Euclid Catalogs. I'm just going to take the default position it gives me. And it finds 6 rows. Just to make it clear that it's a different catalog, instead of red and pink, I'm going to change this to blue, so that it's more obvious that it's different. The blue catalog hasn't shown up here. If I go back to the Images tab, there's where the blue is showing up. Where are all of these things on the sky? Let's go to the Coverage tab. Those 3 big squares are the tiles from the Images tab. So those 3 big squares are the tiles that were returned for that search. Now, these 3 big diamonds are a representation of the objects search results here. What's happening is that these 13,000, 14,000 sources, that's a lot for the browser to render. So it's rendered them in 3 tiles. If I zoom in, then the tiles get smaller. If I zoom in enough, the individual sources are shown. And if I go over here, you can see that those blue sources here are the ones from the Euclid catalog search. The red sources are the ones from the object search. Now right away you can see that it's jumping. What's happened is that the first source in the list is indeed on the edge of the field. The Euclid mer catalog search is here, which is a different position yet again than the center of the first images. If we zoom out, you can start to see the relationship among all of these positions. This was the original target center that we asked for when we initiated the search over in the Images tab. It's also the center of the search we used for the Euclid catalogs. And you can see how all of these things are related on the sky. But you can also see why, when we do cutouts, here, this is the center of that tile. Here, this is an object on the edge of the field that's returned, and these are going to be in a different place yet again. So to get all of these regions of the sky synced up, if we go to the Images tab and then click near the center, then it's going to select out of the list the closest source to the center. So it's going to select this one and that source, which is also this source, and the closest source from the Euclid mer catalog. Now, for all 3 of these tabs, we're looking at the same chunk of sky. If you don't like the jumping, go over here and turn off Pan by Table Row. The pan by table row is super useful though, because that means that the images automatically jump to center whatever source you've clicked on in the catalog. But that's why it's jumping.